Today we will be studying chapter number 4, Jeannie's Amber Beads, page number 39. Written by Jane Andrews. This is the story of nature and its unique ways. Here, the story is about how the amber bead necklace came into existence and how it came onto the seashore for Jeannie's grandfather to gift it to his wife. Here I talked about amber beads. Now let us see what are amber beads. Amber means a hard translucent resin originating from extinct coniferous trees, typically yellowish in color. These are used in jewelry since antiquity. And beads are small pieces of colored glass or plastic with a hole through the middle. It is often put together on a piece of string or wire to make jewelry. Jeannie was a little Scottish girl who lived among the highlands. She lived in a simple hut in the beautiful hills. Jeannie's father kept sheep on the hillsides, and Jeannie and her mother spun and wove beautiful cloth on their looms. One thing that Jeannie treasured was a necklace of amber beads. Her grandmother had given the beads to Jeannie on her 12th birthday. The beads had the rich color of bright sunshine. When an amber bead was rubbed, it gave off a fragrance and it could attract things like a magnet. These two paragraphs describes about Jeannie. That Jeannie lived among the highlands along with her parents in a very small hut. Her father was a shepherd. You know who is a shepherd? Shepherd is a person who keeps and rears sheep on the hillsides. She, along with her mother, used to weave beautiful clothes on looms. Looms means the machines or frames used for weaving threads into clothes. Please underline the word looms. Now, Jeannie had one treasure, which many a lady would be proud to wear. Do you know what it is? It is a necklace of amber beads. Jeannie treasured it because it was special for her. Why so? Because it was gifted by her grandmother on her 12th birthday. These beads gave a beautiful fragrance. Fragrance means beautiful smell, a pleasant smell when it was rubbed, and it even had the ability to attract things because of its sweet smell. Inside one of her beads was a delicate bit of ferny moss in a globe of yellow light, as if it were in the sunlight. Inside another was a tiny fly, his little wings outspread and raised for flight. One bead held 2 pine needles lying across each other. A bee was lodged in another bead which looked like frozen honey. Some beads had golden beetles in them. The beads were all so beautiful that Jeannie spent a lot of time just admiring them. Here, these two paragraphs describes the beauty of the amber beads. Okay, the beads were all so beautifully and so differently embedded, like one of it had a firmly stuck bit of ferny moss, which was light yellow in color, and it looked like it was kept in the sunshine. Then, the another bead, there was a tiny fly whose wings looked like it was ready to fly. We all can imagine this. The next bead had 2 pine needles lying across each other. Then again, a bee was stuck firmly into another bead, and some of the beads also had the golden beetles. And Jeannie spent a lot of time, along with the beads, just admiring them, praising them, wondering about them. Students, where do you think these beads came from? Let's find out the answer in the next paragraph. Jeannie's grandfather had got the beads from the wreck of a ship Goshawk, which had sunk in the sea waters near his highland home. He had gone looking for what he could save from the wreck. There, among the slippery seaweeds, he had accidentally stepped on this piece of amber. It was a clear, shining lump, and all the creatures had been embedded in it. This paragraph describes the place from where Jeannie's grandfather finds the beads. Now, what happened there? Several years ago, after a great storm, a ship was sunk in the sea waters near Jeannie's grandfather's highland home. And her grandfather was in search of what he could save from the wreck that is from the parts of the ship which was sunk. And accidentally what happened, he stepped a hard brown substance which was usually used to make decorative objects or jewelries called amber. The amber was without any definite or regular shape. Okay, there was no any regular shape, and all the creatures were just stuck firmly, very tightly into it. From this lump, grandfather had carved out the beads himself and had given them to his wife as a wedding gift. He had worked very carefully to save the embedded insects or weed in each piece. How his young wife had loved it. She had worn it for many years and then had left it to her granddaughter. This paragraph describes about the hard work, about the sincerity which Jeannie's grandfather showed towards molding that piece of raw amber. As we all know that those beads were not properly arranged. It was not given any proper shape. It was irregular. Therefore, Jeannie's grandfather had to carve it. That is, he molded the beads himself. He worked very carefully in order to save the prettiest insects and moss in each bead. Now, how his hard work was rewarded? It was only rewarded when Jeannie's grandmother loved the gift after receiving it from her husband as a wedding gift. She wore the necklace for many years and then left it for Jeannie, that is her granddaughter, to treasure for the same. But what puzzled Jeannie was how the amber came to be on the seashore and how the bees, the moss and the other creatures had got inside. So she looked it up in a book. Now students, you might be thinking that how the bees, the mosses came inside the amber, isn't it? Jeannie too was puzzled. So what she did, she started for searching informations in a book. At that period of time, there was no technology, no mobile phones, no computers. Now, if we need to search anything, what do? In just a single click, we get all the informations. Am I right? But at that period of time, there was no such technology. Therefore, Jeannie had to search the information in a book. She learnt that long before any humans appeared on earth, the Scottish Highlands were covered with forests. There were oaks, poplars, beeches and pines. Among them was one kind of pine, tall and stately, from which a shining yellow gum flowed. This beautiful yellow gum was fragrant. Thousands of little insects fluttered about it in the warm sunshine. They were attracted by its pleasant smell, perhaps too by its taste. Once they alighted upon it, they stuck fast and could not get away. The great yellow drops oozing out surrounded and at last covered them entirely. Wind-blown bits of moss, leaves, acorns, corns and little sticks too were soon stuck in the fast-flowing gum. As time went by, the gum hardened more and more and became amber. Now we come to know that Jeannie here gets the information that long time ago, even before any men were living on earth, the Scottish Highlands where Jeannie lived were covered with forests. Jeannie here describes that there were different varieties of trees, such as oaks, poplars, beeches, pines, and she says that among them there was one kind of pine from which a shining yellow gum flowed. This gum was very sweet and had a pleasant smell. The insects drank the nectar and some dropped down. This gum remained for several years on the lap of Mother Nature and thus hardened up, and that solid thing has changed into amber. Now are you clear from where this amber came from where these insects were stuck firmly into it? I hope so you are clear with it. In those very old times, the land sometimes sank down into the sea so deep that the water covered the very mountain tops. And then after several centuries, the land was slowly lifted up again. The great forests of the north of Scotland, the oaks, the poplars and the amber pines sank into the deep sea. Now what happened here in the Scottish Islands, the land goes down as it rains and only comes up after several years when the earth is clear. Isn't it hard to believe? But it so happened. Now, the great forest of this north of Scotland lowered into the deep sea. Lying at the bottom of the ocean for years, what happened there? The wood and the gum hardened like stone. We all can imagine how hard a stone is. The same condition was with the wood and the gum, and it was only the great storms that could disturb them as they lie half buried in the sand. It was one of those great storms that brought this lump of amber closer to the shore and thus was found by Jeannie's grandfather. Now, at that time, Jeannie's grandfather was unaware of the fact. He did not know, that it was not only a gift to his wife, but a little piece of Mother Nature. He was even unaware that his granddaughter would treasure and wear it one day. So, in this chapter, what we came to know? Here, we came to know that this little piece of amber beads, which was just lost, in the sea waters, was found out by Jeannie's grandfather, who knew its value. And thus he decided to mold it, to give it a proper shape and gift it to his newly wedded wife. And therefore the wife treasured it for many years, and later on she gifted it to her granddaughter, who is Jeannie. Jeannie knew its true value. She found out the information in a book and therefore treasured it and praised it for many more years. With this, we have come to an end of this chapter. Hope my little effort will be helpful for you to understand this story well. Thank you.